Hi guys, and welcome to A Dog's Soul, an unpassed guide to your dog's feelings. Today we're going to talk about how to prepare a dog for garden time so you can enjoy warm summer days in your garden together in a relaxed way with no barking and no stress. So stay tuned and have fun. Alright, so what a lot of people do is they have been inside all winter and the dog is used to being inside and there are a lot less stimuli inside, right? So we have not any kind of prey animals, given that the dog doesn't chase after the cat. We have a lot less scents. We have no people walking by most of the time, or even if it's not that obvious, it's not that visual for the dog, so it's a lot easier. And then when it gets warmer, people go outside. They want to prepare their gardens for summertime. They want to plant things and clean up things and just enjoy their gardens, and they take the dogs out with them. And they stay out for a very long time and the dogs become really obnoxious. They start barking at everything, they don't settle down, they have no relaxation time, and overall sleep a lot too little. And we all know when our dogs don't sleep enough, they get a little bit crazy and they get more reactive, especially when we already have a reactive dog, and especially when our reactive dog is prone to react to people walking by or dogs walking by our garden. It's not as easy as just taking the dog out and being outside. We have to prepare our dogs for garden time. So, what I like to do with my dogs and also my clients' dogs, I start with introducing a relaxation zone outside. So I always recommend having one inside, but if the dog should be outside for a longer period of time, I recommend them outside as well. It's an area where the dog knows relaxation can happen. So we connect that zone with relaxation. And what we use for that is just whatever is relaxing for the dog. We can use any kind of touch. We can use chew toys or licking things or whatever is relaxing for the dog. And to mark a relaxation zone as a relaxation zone, we can use either a special blanket or a special dog bed or a special area that is always the same, and all relaxing things outside go to that area. And it would best be an area where the dog cannot see directly to the street outside of the garden and get excited every time somebody walks by. So some kind of visual barrier works perfectly. And also something a lot of people do, what I don't recommend, is leaving the dog outside alone, especially in the beginning and especially when we have a dog who is not that relaxed yet. So every time we leave our dog outside alone, we cannot control what's happening. So we cannot see if there is, for example, a kid walking by and bothering the dog, or if there is another dog walking by and our dog goes crazy. We can't intervene. We can't do anything about it because we don't know. And that's why in the beginning I would always recommend walking outside with your dog. And even after, I'm not a big fan of the dog being home alone in the garden or being in the garden alone and not able to come in. And even if they are able to come in, it takes a really relaxed dog to cope with that, alright? Because there is so much going on outside. And when we have a reactive dog and it's not a completely quiet area, so people are walking by and our dog is reactive to that too. It helps a lot to have a leash and a harness on the dog when you walk outside in the beginning, because that way we can prevent the dog from going at the fence and barking at the other dog, and we can also be very quick with rewarding the dog for not reacting. So this is also something that brings a lot of relaxation for our dogs. And we can also use it against fence fighting. So if we have a neighbor dog and the two dogs like to get into it at the fence, we can also use our leash and our training to prevent fence fighting or stop it if it has already started. And yes, in the beginning, that takes our complete attention, and we can't really work on our gardens, the thing we actually wanted to do. But if we put in the work in the beginning and extend the time our dogs are outside slowly, we get the best results, and we don't have to work on it all year long or all season long. If we don't put the work in, we can't expect the dog to just deal with it and just be fine with it. Because as much as our dog needs adjusting to new situations and new routines, we do as well. So this is something that can be a little bit annoying, but it's also a training we can enjoy, because when we work on a relaxation zone, we can take that time to calm down ourselves. Our lives are busy, we have a lot to do, and sometimes we forget to take breaks. We forget to take the time and just calm down. And training a relaxation zone does exactly that. And it's really good for us as well, in my experience. A lot of my clients in the beginning don't really want to do that because they are too busy and they just don't see a time where they can just sit around and pet the dog. But when they just make time for that, it's a really nice time for them too. So this is why I would always recommend doing that. And as for garden work, the dog, it depends. Some dogs really need full attention like all the time and they need baby steps to be outside. Then garden work is not possible, because you won't just do garden work for 2 minutes while watching the dog all the time and rewarding every few seconds and then go back inside. That's really, you won't get anything done like that, right? But as soon as the dog can be outside longer or doesn't need that much attention, you can start doing your garden work and just have your rewards on you, or be prepared to reward your dog, depending on what you want to use as a reward. Food, of course, is again the easiest because you can just have it on you, and reward the dog for making good decisions and not bark at the neighbor dog who goes crazy, or not bark at the pedestrian who walks by, or not bark at the mailman's car that is suddenly a lot closer than when the dog is inside, right? So things are more difficult, yes, but it gives us awesome opportunities to work on it, to train, and with preparation like that, you can have a really, really relaxed garden time when it finally is warm enough to be outside. And that way, you can also teach your dog that specific things are not for him. Like if you have a dog who likes to rip out plants and you take him outside in the spring with a leash attached and you have your words on you and you start working on your plants, you can teach the dog to lie down next to you, for example. and reward him for that, or stand next to you, or do anything else, right? So, like always, we have a point where our dog does something that's okay for us and doesn't do anything forbidden yet. And that's the moment we can reward. So overall, I'd say just take it slow, relax a bit yourself, teach your dog what you want him to do, introduce a relaxation zone, and tell me in the comments or via email, depending on where you're listening to this, how fast your dog could accept the new relaxation zone outside and how long it took you to get him from ripping out your plants. I would really love to read those. And if you have any questions, let me know. And thank you so much for sharing the episode with your dog mom friends and for subscribing to our little podcast channel. Have a lot of fun training, have a lot of fun in your garden with your dog, and we'll see each other next time. Bye!